Hi, I'm Kiran.
Hi, I'm Romana
Welcome to the Parent Culture.
on experiential parenting.
What's our subject today, Romana?
So we have a very interesting email today that's come in, and she says that my child hits a lot, and my child indulges in a lot of screaming and shouting, and it's very difficult to speak to my child when he's in that mood. You know, so
Yeah.
that's what it is, Kiran, today.
Interesting. I mean, I think we've all been in situations where our kids lose control and exhibit it by creating, throwing a tantrum. Right? That would be a good word to
That's
use.
right, absolutely.
It's like leads into a phase where there's this mega tantrum and you're like embarrassed if you're in a public space at home. Of course, you try and handle it the best you can do, and sometimes it just escalates to a point where you really don't know what to do. So before we touch on the subject, I just quickly wanted to say that there are two types of abuse that happen by the kids. One is the self-inflicted or executed abuse, and the other is externally executed abuse. The internal one is where they physically hurt themselves, like pulling their eyebrows, or slapping themselves, or hitting their head on the wall, or even something as simple as sucking their thumb or biting their nail. The other one is that this mom has written to us about is that her son gets into shouting and screaming and hitting, and sometimes maybe biting as well is what happens with children. They bite other children, or they bite an adult, or they scratch. So that is another kind of executed abuse that happens. And today we look at the latter one, which is how the one executed to other people. Yeah,
That's right, yes. So basically, we have identified a couple of reasons of why a child could behave like this, Kiran, and I'm talking from a lot of research, also from personal experience, because as you all know by now, I have an 8-year-old boy too. Is number one is they want to try and gain control over the situation. You know, I think for them it's like a power tool. So that is one of the major reasons why a child could be screaming, shouting, raising his voice and hitting.
so they're trying to control the situation by
Yeah,
exhibiting this
that's
behavior.
right. And sometimes I feel that that's the best way they know how to.
Because they don't have the vocabulary for it. They don't know how to use those words of emotion and anger. They're not able to separate those feelings or articulate them with the words that they have.
Absolutely, you know that actually is very true, Kiran, because like if my child doesn't know the name anger or what anger is and how you feel when you're getting angry,
Or jealousy.
or it could be any
Or
emotion
irritation,
basically. Yes,
yeah.
that's right. It comes out in the form of screaming, shouting, because that's the best they know how.
And the reason they don't know how is because probably we haven't taught them.
Probably, that's true. Maybe
So-
we are so scared to address emotions. You know, they say practical bano, emotions ko ignore karo. Hum usme, we kind of get sucked into that, and we fail to educate our children in terms of emotional quotient. Like we have the IQ,
Quotient, yeah.
and the EQ is something that we tend to ignore. So that is one of the reasons that I have found.
So what I find myself, and also when I observe other parents who are in similar situations, is that we tend to focus on the action that the child is doing, on the behavior, which is like angry, upset, shouting, screaming, throwing things, rather than looking at why is the child behaving, and sort of having a discussion around that and saying, why are you behaving like that? Is it anger you're feeling? So giving them the words.
That's
You're
right.
irritated because you're tired and sleepy, you're feeling cranky. Is that how we should
Yeah,
take that
that's
forward?
actually that's actually like we've hit the nail in the right place. You know, another reason why children behave or exhibit behavior like this is quick problem solving. मैंने चिल्ला दिया मतलब problem solving. I will just scream and I will walk away, or I will just hit someone and I will run away, and my problem is solved that way. So sometimes kids also think that it could be used as a problem solving tool, because probably they don't know any better how to handle that particular situation.
And it could also be because they're emulating your behavior, because I mean, as a parent, I know that it's easier for me to just quickly get angry and say, okay, stop doing that, don't hit your sister, don't do this, don't do that, rather than sitting and having a discussion, because that takes time, effort, energy, and sometimes we don't have it. And whatever behavior we exhibit, our kids sort of pick it up and take it outside and to other people and other children.
That's true.
So the big question is how to address it. I think that's what we all struggle with.
Absolutely big and extremely important, right? So I think one of the most important things that I find is it has to be made a part of your house rules. Behavior like this, hitting, screaming, shouting, biting, there should be no excuse for behavior like that. No,
Zero.
he hit me, so I hit him back.
Zero tolerance.
Zero tolerance. It has to be made very clear in your house rules that this behavior is absolutely inexcusable and unacceptable.
Supported by accountability and consequences.
Absolutely. So there has to be accountability. They have to
Take
know that they are being watched, they are being monitored, and consequences is very important. And I'm not sure if you heard or not heard about the naughty corner consequence. That's what I'm going to share a little bit in detail.
Very similar to, I think, you're grounded, go to your room for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Similar.
But,
along the lines.
But these ground rules, like go to your room, no TV for 1 week, children tend to get defiant with this, right? The naughty corner rule is basically trying to show, like we discussed, one of the major reasons of children behaving like this is to gain control. It's a power tool. The naughty corner experience for the child, you're basically trying to communicate by telling them that I'm in charge.
Taking the power away from them.
Taking the power back from them. So this particular experience helps to convey that message, right? So when you see a child screaming or shouting or hitting, right, one of the very important things that you need to do is you need to step down to their level.
Or physically, you mean? Go back down on your
Yes.
knees,
So you
eye
need to-
level.
Yes,
Okay.
go down on your knees, look into their eye and give them a warning that do not do this. It's a warning. And if you repeat this even after the warning, you're going to go into the naughty corner.
And the naughty corner has to be the same place every time.
Same
You
place
can't
every
change it.
time. You can't change it, otherwise they'll never take it seriously. Or then what they'll start feeling is, I will suggest my naughty corner.
And what is the duration for the naughty corner?
That's a very good question. A lot of parents think कि एक ही minute देंगे. So basically, I've kind of figured this out. Is the naughty corner time should be as the age of your child. So if your child is 1 year, naughty corner 1 minute. If your child is 2 years, naughty corner 2 minutes. My child is 8 years, naughty corner 8 minutes.
And we have to explain to them the concept of naughty corner, why they're going there.
Yes. So basically, the naughty corner should be explained to them with the house rules, that if these rules are not followed, you will have the naughty corner. Naughty corner is where you as a parent have picked the naughty corner, and this is where you'll either be sitting or standing for 8 minutes.
And
or
it
for
shouldn't
5
be
minutes.
like in their room. It has to be a common area place, right?
Yes, because you need to be able to look at your child.
Right.
So if you put it in a place behind your back or where you don't have access, you don't know what he's doing in the naughty corner. So it has to be in front of your eyes.
So they just have to sit there and reflect.
Absolutely. Sit there and reflect for that number of time.
Minutes. Okay.
Now, once you've given the warning and told them about the naughty corner, if they stop it, brilliant. If they don't, please follow up by physically maybe carrying your child or holding his hand and walking with your child to the naughty corner.
And the time starts again from 0 to 5, right?
That's how it starts. That's
No,
right.
I mean if they finish 2 minutes and they break the naughty corner, then you again start from 0 to 5.
That's right, that's right.
So you, whatever their
That's
age.
right. Absolutely.
They
absolutely.
have to know that
Yes.
they have to sit in the space
For that much of time. That's right. So then when you put them in the naughty corner, again you go down to their level on your knees and tell them the reason you are being put in the naughty corner is because mama said not to hit, and in spite of a warning you still hit. That's why you're in the naughty corner. Once the time that you have decided according to your child's age is done, you need to ask the child, why did mama or papa put you in the naughty corner? They have to tell you why, and then you have to make them apologize. You have to say, now I want you to please apologize for your behavior. When they do apologize, you need to hug them. Right? So they know now now you might have to do 3-4 naughty corners for them to actually know that mama is not giving in. Now what makes the naughty corner very productive or makes it work is, like you said, if my child breaks or moves away from the naughty corner before his allotted time, you physically need to put him back in the naughty corner and restart the time again. So what he gets in his head or her head is, mama is not giving up till I finish my 8 minutes or 5 minutes.
So my take is that, over the years raising my own kids, and from whatever research is showing us, getting your kids to follow the right behavior is an investment of time and energy. And you need to find it. And if you don't find it, you can't complain. And, you will always have the situations where your kids are throwing tantrums and, they're abusive. And so it's up to you that you start the process as early as possible.
Absolutely. A lot of parents also ask me, but I tried the naughty corner, it didn't work. And the reason is because once the child runs away, or the child, oh my goodness, I have experienced children crying like it's the end of the world when they're put in the naughty corner. And we as parents feel bad.
Guilty, yeah.
And
All our
if we give
elders
in to
will.
their behavior, that is when your naughty corner is your failure.
Yeah. Nana, nani, dada, dadi, mausis will say, oh, why are you doing
Yes,
this? He's
they
just a child.
And there the
She's
child
just a
knows,
child.
okay, if mama is not falling for it,
Somebody else will.
And they'll play that trick with them. Again, it's unsuccessful. So following up, ensuring that 8 minutes is complete, even if it takes 1 hour, please follow up. That is when you will be successful, and your child will know, I can't mess with mom anymore. And that's what we want. We want to take the power back. So that is the naughty corner consequence that should be done once family rules are set, and if the rule is not followed.
But this won't work for kids more than a certain age, right? 10 or beyond.
Probably, because but also you realize that, children beyond 10 years tend to exhibit this kind of behavior less. And if they are still exhibiting this behavior, our next topic or what we are going to be talking right immediately is what will help with older children. And that is about going into understanding the emotional quotient.
Expressing empathy with them rather than sympathy.
That's right. So the next thing, Kiran, is about talking to your child about emotions. Labeling the emotion. Consciously labeling the emotion. You know your child better than anybody else. If your child is hitting, you can see on the face. Is he hitting because of frustration? Is he hitting because of anger? Is he hitting because of irritation? Is he hitting because he's just hungry, cranky, or he's just woken up from his nap? Understand these patterns and behaviors of your child. And effectively, please label these behaviors. So if your child is cranky, don't label it as irritation. Call it cranky. If your child is hitting, is it anger? Is it jealousy? Is it frustration? Label them. Don't just label it angry.
Right.
You could be irritated. You could be frustrated. So use the right words. Then talk about what happens. What is that? What is frustration? What is irritation? And talk to them about how it makes you feel. So you're basically educating a child and giving a vocabulary to your child about emotions.
And also reassuring them that it's okay to be angry, it's okay to be upset, it's okay to be irritated.
Absolutely.
But how to sort of control the exhibition of that and put it across in a more constructive way where they can articulate to you that, Mama, I'm getting irritated. I think I'm tired, I need to sleep. Maybe you have forgotten. For example, yesterday my kids came back from playing, we had dinner, muh haath dhoke kapde vapde we changed, and suddenly they decided they wanted to read. I knew it was already 8:15, by 8:30 it's already way past their bedtime. So I tried telling them ki it's too late, we will read tomorrow, but they were adamant. And 10 minutes down, one started wailing, then the other started wailing that she's not reading fast enough, she's not letting me read. This word I am not getting. And I was like, why do you want to read so late at night? But they were adamant. And of course, they created a huge shindy of crying, oh, this is not happening. And finally, I said, why are you behaving? Because, Mama, I'm so irritated and tired. And I said, that's because it's bedtime. Let's go down. It's okay to feel irritated and angry. Then they closed their books and we held each other's hands and we went down to sleep. But yeah, I mean, the fact was that it was all stemming from their exhaustion from the day.
And you know, another thing that I observed is the child knows the word irritation, but I've had Dabir ask me, Mama, but what is irritation? Right? तो उनको word तो पता होगा, but उसका मतलब नहीं पता. And it's our responsibility to tell our kids so they know that, oh, so I know that if I'm reading beyond my bedtime, I will get irritated. So I should not read because I don't like the feeling of irritation. You know what I mean? This is the kind of education that you have to give to your child, and it only comes with conversation. It only comes in with spending time with your child. It only comes with having a chat with your child over the dinner table. You know, talk to your children about these things.
True. And of course, we've spoken about they emulate your behavior. So you need to be a role model. So you need to control your anger, not hit your child.
That's right.
And, you know, ensure that they can emulate your behavior, because no matter what you tell them, at the end of the day, they will behave as they see you behave.
That's true.
So that doesn't go away from our, our part of the responsibility as a parent.
That's right. You know what you've just said, Kiran, reminded me of a little example that I read somewhere. It's about, it getting cold, winter is setting in, and a mom told her, 9-year-old boy, said, let's go to the mall, let's get you something warm. You don't have anything warm. And he said, okay. Initially, he was really excited about the mall. And an hour and a half down the road, they really didn't find anything for him. And he told his Mama, let's just go home. And the mom said, sweetheart, let's buy something today. Otherwise, the next time we come, you'll have nothing home to wear. And then what are we going to do? And he said, Mom, let's just go home. And the mom insisted on buying something before, we left. And the child turned to his mom and said, Mom, it's been an hour and a half. We haven't found anything. I'm tired. I'm irritated. I'm frustrated. I just want to go home. So what I loved about this example is the child knew what these feelings are, and before he could start feeling them, he already told his mom that I'm beginning to feel like that, let's go home. And you know the best part about the mom, where you said don't try to lose it yourself, the mom actually empathized with the child and said, wow, thank you so much for letting me know, and that means a lot, and I'm really glad that you understand what you're feeling, and yeah, let's go home, let's come back another time.
Interesting.
And this example just kind of made me realize how important it is for us to tell our children what they are feeling, and if they like to feel that way, and it can be so easily avoided. So that's something important.
I wanted to add, do monitor the media that they're consuming. That's really important, because they learn a lot from the media as well. If it's a violent series that they're watching, you think Tom and Jerry is so innocent, it may not be. Because at the end of the day, it's, Tom and Jerry just chasing each other and hitting each other and, beating each other up and outsmarting each other. I mean, something as innocent as this. I mean, I love Tom and Jerry, and I always loved it since childhood. But now when I evaluate it and see a lot of the other cartoons as well, I'm like, why, what, and the kind of video games your kids are playing, access to the content on YouTube. So you need to do a bit of monitoring there. Last but not the least, the kids are not coming from a place of maliciousness.
There's no hatred there, right? They're not doing it on purpose or because they want, or that's their, that's how they want to. But it's innocent and they don't know any better. And why and how to help them is something that we have extensively shared. And we really hope this video has helped you, because it definitely has made us a lot more conscious parents, and that's what we want you to achieve for yourself. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great week ahead, and God bless. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for watching. Do like, share and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.